A week underpinned by these images, 10-foot waves pounding the beaches of the Western Cape and parts of KZN. A 95-year-old lady was swept away in her car. Restaurants and infrastructure were damaged, dozens of vehicles destroyed. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
This is Eyewitness News.
The bad weather moved on to plunder parts of Gauteng. The wind so strong there, it blew off rooftops and collapsed shacks in informal settlements in Tshwane.
Umoya lo umningi kakhulu. Ungalawuleki nokulawuleka. Now to uyabheka lo uthola ukuthi hayi akuhambeka kwenzeke next.
Here in Kameeldrift, the wind whipped up a fire that also wiped out many dwellings. Hundreds of people are now homeless.
So the social department will now take the second step of trying to get some food support for them and blankets, etc. I'm just waiting for feedback from the mayor's office and the disaster team in terms of where we're going to place these people, the affected community. It might be in a community hall or a church hall for now, and then how we're going to support them in terms of structures to rebuild it, etc.
Well, President Cyril Ramaphosa addressed the United Nations in New York. South Africa was accused of ratcheting up its human rights abuses, dirty drinking water in KZN. Some hospitals in Gauteng had no water at all, and many thousands were unable to access their SASSA grants until the last couple of days, due to government's new word to explain problems, glitches. The South African Human Rights Commission found that human rights violations due to the current water crisis, either lack of it or what is there undrinkable, have been committed against residents in KZN and blames the local government and its municipalities for poor water management.
One of the key findings of the Commission's report is that the municipalities, water services authorities, and water boards have violated residents' and communities' rights to access clean and sufficient drinking water in the province. There are quite comprehensive findings and recommendations that the Commission has made, and some of these include the extent of the challenges of access to water in the province. What we found is that some of the key challenges raised by municipalities include aging infrastructure, budgetary constraints, and therefore the inability to effect repairs and maintenance that is required to ensure that the water systems run and operate efficiently.
Despite that, eThekwini reported that 22 of their 23 beaches were open and safe for swimming.
The eThekwini municipality says 22 out of its 23 beaches are now ready for swimming. This was announced during council this week when council was briefed about the tests that have been conducted in the sea to check if the water levels are now ready for use. The city says it is pleased with the tests that have been conducted recently and says it is now ready to host both its residents and visitors in the city of eThekwini. And as we approach summer, the city is expecting thousands of visitors to visit some of the city's beaches. However, while the city says these beaches are safe to swim, the water does appear not to be too clean as it stands.
And in Gauteng, 3 hospitals suffered severe water shortages. Taps ran dry at the Rahima Musa Mother and Child, Helen Joseph and Pulosong hospitals.
I am back to where I started. I have no pension money. I am beyond depressed, frustrated, and devastated.
The most vulnerable in our society had to wait nearly a month to get their money. Thousands of SASSA recipients. The DA lodged a complaint with the South African Human Rights Commission against Social Development Minister Lindiwe Zulu, the South African Social Security Agency, and the Post Bank.
Officials will continue engaging to ensure that we are ready to pay on time in the next month. The 2 departments and their agencies understand the regrettable strain that the grants payment challenges that we've experienced this month has caused in the most vulnerable of our society. That's why in this regard, we wish to reiterate our sincerest apologies to all social grants beneficiaries who have encountered difficulties accessing their social grants this month.
Angered lack of service delivery led to the torching of a community hall and a fire services truck. This Swellendam resident says the situation is volatile and real leadership, backup and help are needed at this time.
Our whole town is held hostage because all the businesses are closed. Children are writing exams today. They can't go to school to write exams. What will happen, I don't know. The taxis were told last night they can't operate, and buses.
She also claims instigators are being bussed into the community to take part in protests. The mayhem started on the 16th of last month when demonstrators set a municipal building alight. More than 20 people were arrested at the time. South Africa is playing Ireland on Saturday. This could determine who we play in the Rugby World Cup quarterfinals. So what are our chances?
We're all set for the most anticipated clash of the pool stages at the Rugby World Cup between the number 1 ranked Ireland and the reigning champions, the Springboks. Now, the Irish have resisted the urge to counter the much talked about 7-1 split on the South African bench, and instead they've gone for the conventional 5-3, whilst also making just the one change to their starting lineup, where Jamison Gibson-Park starts at scrum-off alongside the captain, Johnny Sexton. Bok coach Jacques Nienaber is expecting a bruising battle with the Irish, which is why they've opted for the 7 forwards amongst the subs, something he's called a calculated risk. And if things are to go their way, they'll have to hope that they have a little more luck than the Irish do on their side. Kickoff at the Stade de France on Saturday is at 9 p.m. Mawande Mateza, Eyewitness News Sport.
And that's it from us. Have a very good weekend. See you next week. Remember to like and subscribe.
Eyewitness News, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi.